Next up, chapter 2, how to use and store cryptocurrencies. Right? So basically, to use cryptocurrencies, you have to have a wallet. So the wallets I recommend, one is a Ledger wallet. Right? For those who don't know, back in 2018, I was hacked for 2.4 million to 2.5-ish, basically $2.5 million. Right? Because I stored my private keys on a web service, whatever, right? Evernote. I thought I was being private or whatever, but hackers, they will find you, especially if you're a public figure like me. The good thing is, thanks to help of the FBI, they're able to find the money and get it back. So, as we like to say,
we just landed on the moon.
Thank you, FBI. But basically, after that, I learned my lesson, right? Store everything on a ledger if you can, right? It's basically looks like this. It's basically a USB device, and store it there. That's how you should store your cryptocurrencies. Now, it is somewhat technical, but just go to ledger.com and buy a ledger, right? Basically, there are two ways to store crypto that I recommend, right? So the first one, Ledger Wallet. So let me pull this up here for those who want to purchase this. All right, so they have different versions that come out all the time. I have Ledger Nano, I believe. Okay, yeah, so this is basically the device, right? So this stores Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other crypto assets. Now, the downside of a ledger is, as I switch over here, actually I'll stay here, right? The downside of a ledger is you can't store too many different crypto assets, right? Because if they're different blockchains, it has a limitation on memory, right? At least the ledger I have. I believe the new ledger, so I have the Nano S. Nano X doesn't have as many good reviews for some reason, but I highly recommend getting that. And I highly recommend getting a bunch of them, right? Why do that, right? So basically, after I got hacked, I went out there and I bought a bunch of ledgers. I have like 10 ledgers. And then you can clone a ledger and basically have different backups in different parts of the world, right? So that's what I actually have, right? So that way, if your ledger gets lost, you have a ledger that has the same exact private key that helps you recover your wallet with you, right? Why do that, right? You want to de-risk and decentralize all avenues for getting hacked, right? There's a chapter on basically hacking and security. But for now, in terms of storing your ledger, make clones of your ledger and keep them in different places, right? I know some people who keep them in safety deposit boxes at bank accounts, at banks. That I don't trust so much. There have been stories of bank employees going through and stealing people's crypto, right? So that makes me not want to do that. You can store it at different places, maybe your office and home, or maybe at a friend's house or parent's house or whatever. But basically, find out what works for you, or maybe even a different continent, right? But basically, find out what works for you and make sure you have different places, right? For example, I think the Winklevoss twins have theirs spread out throughout different places in the US, right? Whether banks or whether lawyers or whatever, right? Because they have over $1 billion in Bitcoin, right? So they want to make sure nothing gets hacked, right? And what they do is they take like half the private key, and theirs is done via paper, not a ledger, right? You can use a paper wallet, but I don't really recommend that. I mean, you could unless you have lots of money, right? But anyway, that's one wallet to use. The other wallet you can use, if you're on phone or the mobile, I've heard of Rainbow Wallet. Now, I've not used this myself, but this has been pretty popular amongst DeFi users. All right, so let me switch over here. So this one is pretty popular for DeFi amongst the Ethereum community, right? Rainbow Wallet, so definitely check this out. Then Coinbase Wallet as well is also very popular, all right? So you got Coinbase Wallet. And then you also have MetaMask. MetaMask is needed for, it's basically a browser wallet, a wallet inside your browser that you use to interact with DeFi. We'll get into DeFi later, but basically if you want to have a wallet on your browser, use this, right? Now, what I do is, for DeFi, I use MetaMask, and you can integrate this with Ledger, right? Because when you use Ledger, you physically have to confirm a transaction by pushing down this button here, right? So this means that nobody's gonna hack you unless they physically have a ledger. That's the upside of a ledger or hardware wallet, right? Cold storage, right? Because unless somebody physically has this, they ain't getting nothing, right? So if you integrate this with MetaMask, every transaction on MetaMask and DeFi, you have to confirm physically by pushing down this button to accept the transaction. So less likely to get hacked, right? Now, when it comes to security, nothing is bulletproof. Hackers have been known to even hack hardware wallets, right? But they're still a lot safer than just regular wallets, right? Then one other app I like for tracking all this is Zapper.fi. If you go to Zapper.fi, this works with most blockchains. So this is pulling up my Ethereum wallets and Avalanche and Polygon, right? But basically, this is pretty cool. Just think of this as your banking center for crypto and DeFi for your portfolio, right? I like to use this to track my portfolio. These are not all my crypto assets, but this tracks most of them, right? So in this wallet is pulling in my Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche. Why is it not showing this? Give me 1 second. Typically, it would also show me my loans. But anyway, so this also pulls in my NFTs. So in this instance, this is my NFT collection. NFTs is one of the last chapters in the book. We'll get into that. But this is basically what I would be using if you're brand new to crypto, right? And then last but not least, crypto exchanges, right? So if you're brand new to crypto and you're not tech savvy, sometimes trying to self-custody your own crypto is dangerous, right? Because I know people, this is almost a rite of passage in crypto, losing your private key or losing access to your crypto. I mean, anybody who's been in crypto for a while, they have lost money by not storing their private key properly, myself included, right? I lost over 6 figures in one chain back in like 2018 because their crappy desktop wallet just didn't work properly, basically. And it crashed as I was storing my password and my private key, and I cannot recover that. A good thing was I did sell some on chain, so I didn't take any L. But I mean, losing out on 6 figures is not ideal, right? So what do you do in that instance if you have a crypto asset or blockchain that is not supported with Ledger, right? Like this. What do you do, right? So in the book, definitely buy the book if you haven't already, right? Because this whole masterclass is about the book. This is a high level. The book goes into everything at a deep level, right? But basically, you can buy what I call password protected USB drives. Not sure if you guys can see that. Right? Basically, it can be a USB drive. It can be a portable hard drive. But basically, make sure you get something that you can encrypt and store your private key there, right? Because sometimes either that or a paper wallet, right? So either that or just print out a paper wallet and store it somewhere. Have a backup, maybe at home or somewhere else. But basically find ways to store that crypto and encrypt it, right? So with this is similar to a ledger. You have to physically put in a password to even access this, right? And then once I access that, I then also encrypt that as well with software, right? So it's basically double encrypted. Now, I'm no IT security expert per se, but I have been looking into this deeply after getting hacked, right? Now, I think that is a good place to start, whether that or a portable hard drive. So for instance, let me open up this other hard drive. So one I recommend is the Samsung SSD drive. This is like 1 or 2 terabytes. You can buy this on Amazon or online. You can just buy this and encrypt this with software. Now, one thing to note, all the stuff we're doing is not bulletproof. if a hackers really want to get through it and they're smart and they have the time, they can get it, right? So basically, I mean, the CIA can hack this, right? The CIA can probably hack a ledger too, right? But unless, if you don't have the CIA coming after you, then you're good, right? You want to create as many obstacles for hackers as possible, right? So you can encrypt this with a Mac. You can do it through File Vault. With Windows, there's different, I think with Windows, there's bit something that comes with Windows that helps you encrypt hard drives. But basically, software encryption can be hacked. Same thing with hardware encryption. But somebody has to really be good at it, and they have to really want to come after you to hack it, right? So it's not bulletproof, but it's better than nothing, right? All these are just barriers we create. And that's how I would store crypto.